Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be taking off substructure works with columns and thicknessing. If you look at our diagram today on the plan that you're given, this is the plan. We have section CC and section BB. Section BB includes this wall and this exterior wall, and you can see this is the first interior wall and this is the exterior wall. This one is the thicknessing, which is at section CC, meaning that from here to here this wall has been thicknessed, but this one has a different foundation from the rest of the external wall. If we study our plan, we can see that the length of our plan, the external length, we shall take 6,000 plus 3,500 plus 4,000. Then for the width is 9,000 millimeters long. Then here we have a center recess at the center, whereby not at the center really, because this one is 6 meters and this one is 4 meters, but we have a recess here, so the recess is 3,000. So knowing that, we can come and study the section. The section here has a vibrated reinforced concrete. It is 250. The strip footing is 600. Then the height of the this wall up to the ground level is 2,000. Then from the ground level to the slab, it's 250 to the top of the slab. We can see this is the hard core, then this one is the maram blinding, and this is the concrete. This is this wall that is here, and we can see that the footing is different. It's for 50 millimeters, different from this one, which is 600 millimeters. Its thickness is 150 millimeters. Then the depth up to the bottom of the hard core, the reduced level, is 1450. The thickness of the hard core, the depth is 400 millimeters. The depth of the maram blinding is 25 millimeters, and the thickness of the concrete is 100 millimeters. We are also told that there is a 1000 gauge DPM. DPC is on top of the concrete. BRC mesh is in the concrete. The concrete is ratio 1:3:6. Then this is 150 millimeters wall, while this one is 200 millimeters stone wall. When we study the thicknessing, we can see that this is 200, this is 350, and this is 200. Here it's 225, then we have malam blinding of 25, then the concrete of 100. So the notes that you are given is the site is clear, so we don't need to clear the site. Then topsoil is 150 millimeters average depth. Alright, so after studying the diagram, the plan and the section, now we can go to taking off. If you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe. We have good perks for you that we have after you join our membership. You can be able to get these presentations, and also you can be able to ask our questions, which we shall answer you together with the exclusive membership, where we offer classes for quantity surveying students. So if you're doing part-time classes and you want us to train you and you want us to help you go through your notes, we are here for you. So you just subscribe to our membership, which is exclusive. You can be able to see our perks on the link that is on your screen, and you shall be able to be assisted. So now we shall go to beginning take off, whereby we shall start with the excavating the oversight of the site. Then we shall go to excavating the foundation trenches. We shall lay the concrete in the foundations. We shall go to foundation walling. Alright, then we shall go to hardcore, and here in hardcore we shall remember that we have the thicknessing. We shall do the malam blinding. Then we have the DPM and anti-termite treatment. Then the formwork and the floor bed. Alright, so we shall begin with the excavating the 150 millimeters depth of topsoil. Remember, you are told that the topsoil is 150 millimeters depth. So excavate away 150 millimeters. We need to measure this site. Alright, when we are measuring for site clearance, remember we have to add the foundation spread. The foundation spread is this spread this side. So if this one was 600, we shall deduct for the wall, which is 200. then it remains with 400. 400 divided by 2, you get 200. So from here to here, we shall add 200 all around the site. That one is for the foundation spread, so that we can add it to site clearance. So we shall come and analyze the length, the width. The length is 6,000 plus that 500 plus 4,000, which is 13,500, and the width is this is 9,000. All right. So if it is 9,000, the width is 9,000. We shall add 400. All right. So if it is 9,000, we add 400, it shall be 9,400. Then so it is the length and the width, so it shall be 13.9 and 9.4. Then we need to know what is the level that we shall reduce the level. We reduce the level up to the where we start to lay the hardcore. So what is the depth from the ground level? So how do we calculate that? We shall take the trench, the depth of the trench. First, we shall calculate everything that is above the reduced level. We shall take 100 for the concrete, 25 plus for the blinding, and 400 for the hardcore. The total above the reduced level is 525. Then above the ground is 250. From the top of the concrete to the ground level is 250. So we need to excavate to 75. Then we shall have already cleared the site of vegetable soil, which is 150 millimeters. So the remaining one that we need to reduce the level is by 125 millimeters. Alright, so we shall say excavate in reduced level commencing from strip level, average 125 millimeters deep, and cut away from the site. Alright, then we shall go to site. We remember here we have a void. This one we need to deduct it. We have taken this length and the width for site clearance. Now we need to deduct for the void. For the void, we shall take, this is that 500. Remember, there is a spread coming this way and another spread coming this way from this wall. It is spread this way 200 and it is spread this way 200. 200 plus 200 is 400. That 500 minus 400 is that 100. So the length will be 3.1. The width, you can see from the outside the wall to outside the wall is 3,000. So assuming that spread will come 200 more. So it means that if it comes 200 more, it also needs to go 200 more. So if we deduct 200 from 3,000, it shall be 3,000 minus 200 plus 200, which shall remain just 3,000. So 3.1 and 3, deduct ditto the last two items on void. Alright. Now we shall go to excavating the foundation trenches. You know, we need to book it. We have already found the depth. Now we need the center length. For trench 1, which is the external trench, going like this, This trench, the center line, we will take the total length. We add 400 and 400 for the spread. You see this spread, 400 and 400 for the spread. It is 13,900 because it was 13,500 plus 400, 200 on both sides. Then the width, it's 9,000. We add 200, 200, 9,400. We get the total perimeter is 39,200. We also need to add this wall. You remember we did in the center line for the recess at the center. The link is on your screen. If you did not watch that video, you can go and watch so that you can know how to calculate the center line for a rectangle with a recess at the center. So we shall add 3,000 times 2, 6,000. Then we shall, after getting the total external perimeter, now we shall deduct number of corners times the thickness of the wall. Number of corners, it is number of external corners minus the number of internal corners, just as we discussed in the previous video. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 external corners, deduct 1, 2 corners. So 4 corners times the thickness of the trench is 600. Total 2,400. So the total center line is 50,200. So we come and book 50.2. The width of the trench is 0.6 and the depth 1.5, the first stage. Then the second stage 50.2, 0.6, 0.48 for the second stage. The description is excavate foundation trenches commencing and reduced level not exceeding 1.5 meters deep and refill and run. And the next stage is excavate foundation trenches commencing from 1.5 meters deep and not exceeding 3 meters deep and refill and ram. And in this soil, this volume of soil, you add it to refill and ram. We need to do a video for refill and ram and together with cutaway so that you can explain the difference. Alright, so center line for trench 2, this trench here, what is the length of that trench? We shall take the total length here, 9,000. We deduct 3,000 up to here. We remain with 6,000. Then we shall deduct. You see, this is a trench. When we are excavating this trench, we have the spread this side, which is 200, and this side 200. But 6,000 is from the outside the wall to outside the wall. So we need to deduct the total of wall and spread, 400, wall and spread, another 400. So 400 times 2, 800. So if we get the difference, we shall get 5,200. So if we are excavating for the trench, it shall be 5.2 times the thickness of the trench is 0.45. You can see here the thickness is 0.45. Then the depth of the first stage is 1.5. Excavate foundation trenches commencing at reduced level not exceeding 1.5 meters deep and refill and ram. That volume of soil, you add it to refill and ram. The next stage is excavate foundation trenches commencing from 1.5 meters deep and not exceeding 3 meters deep. You take the center line, the width of the trench, and the depth for that stage, and add to refill and ram. Alright, so we go to planking and strutting the excavation trenches. We need to support them. This one we usually write item together with keeping the trenches out of water. We write item because this is in the BQ we shall allocate a provisional sum which can change when we get to site. So such we need to go to site, and so we take off as item. Now we are on mass concrete. This mass concrete here and mass concrete here. How do we take it off? We shall take the center line of the trench multiplied by the thickness of the trench and the thickness of this concrete. For the external trench, we say mass concrete ratio 1:2:3 in foundation trench for external wall, and that for that volume of soil to this volume of concrete has replaced the soil. So we shall deduct from RFR and add it to cutaway, the soil that will draw away from the site. Then this concrete for the internal wall, the length of the wall is 5.2, the thickness of the trench is 0.45, and the depth of this concrete is 0.15. So mass concrete ratio 1:2 is 1:3:6 in foundation trench for inner wall, and that volume of concrete deduct from RFR and add to cutaway. Then we go to measuring the height of foundation wall. We shall start with this external wall. So foundation wall, we shall take 2000 plus 2. This one, the total here is 2000. Alright, 2000 together with 250 above the ground. From here up to here is 2250. Then if we deduct this oversight concrete and the blinding, we shall remain with the foundation wall. So 2250, we deduct 100 for the concrete and at 25 for the blinding. We remain with 2125. So the center line of the trench, which was 42, this one is center line for the trench, will be the center line for the wall, because if this trench is 600 and the wall is 200, 600 minus 200, 400. If we divide by 2, we get 200, 200, meaning the center of the wall is the center of the trench. What about this one? 450 minus 150, 300. If we divide by 2, 150, meaning the center line for the wall is the center line for this trench. So we shall still take the center line for the trench, then we multiply by the height of the wall, 2.13, that is 200 millimeters thick stone external walling in cement side, ratio 1:3 mortar joints. Then for this internal wall here, it shall be the length of the wall, which is 5.2. Then the height of the wall, we shall just take 1450 plus 400, 1.85, 150 millimeters thick stone internal walling in cement sand, ratio 1:3 mortar joints. Alright, so then we shall go to height of foundation wall. How do we calculate the height of that wall? If we get this height of these walls, just as we have done previously, now we can be able to know the volume of soil we shall need to deduct from refill and ram and add to cutaway, because that volume of soil has already been replaced by the wall. So we shall find the volume of the walls. So we shall take the center line of the trench and it's the center line of the wall. Then we multiply by the thickness of the wall, which is 0.2, then the depth of the wall for the external wall. Then we take this volume and deduct it from RFR and add to cutaway. RFR is the soil that we shall use to refill and ram. You remember we have two heaps, one for RFR, another for takeaway. So that soil, we shall deduct it from RFR because it has been replaced by the wall, and add it to cutaway. Then for the other one, for the internal wall, we shall take the length of the wall, the thickness of the wall, and the depth of the wall. That volume that has been replaced by the wall, we deduct ditto for internal wall. We do as above. We deduct from RFR and add to cutaway. Now we shall take off the hardcore. If you can see on the diagram, between the external walls there is hardcore. Hardcore is always placed inside the rooms where there are no walls. Inside the rooms is where we do the hardcore. So there are three ways that you can do the hardcore. You can take the length and the width of this rectangle, take the length and width of this rectangle, and also take the length and width of this rectangle, then add the thicknessing, of which it can bring you so many errors. So the easiest way to do this, we shall take the total area inside the walls, the external walls, then we shall deduct the area for the void together with the walls, then we shall deduct the place with the thicknessing. If you note well that in the thicknessing part we reduce the hardcore, then we increase the concrete. I hope that is very clear. So here is in the hardcore, you know hardcore could be up to here, but now it was reduced. Then we increase the concrete. So that is the tricky part about thicknessing. So when you are finding the area for the hardcore, we shall take the internal dimensions. For the length, it shall be, we said that the external is 6,000 plus 3,500 plus 4,000. So the total is 13,500. We deduct 400 for this wall and this wall. So it shall be 13.10. Alright, the width, the total width, external width is 9,000. We deduct this wall and this wall, we get 8.6. Then the depth of the hard core. If you look at here, we can see the depth of hard core is 400 millimeters. So that is 0.4. Now that we have the total area on the inside, we need to deduct for the void. In the place of the void, we have that 500 between the external walls. We need to add the walls, because the walls, we don't place hardcore beneath the walls. So that 500 plus 200 plus 200 is 3.9. Then the width we have here, the internal, it's from here to here. So here we have 200 plus 3000 minus 200, because we were taking the internal dimensions, so it shall remain 3 meters. Then the depth of the hardcore is 0.4 on the void that we are deducting. Now there is this thickness part. How do we calculate the area of the hardcore, the volume of the hardcore that was reduced? Here I will use my pen. We will always extend a straight line like this, then we extend a straight line like this. You see this triangle here is the same as this triangle over here, because the hypotenuse must be equal, then the base is 200, then the height is the same. So if we take the volume of this part here, we have two triangles. If you can see, this is the triangle that is existing, and this is the imaginary triangle which was replaced by this other triangle here. So it forms a square. The base of the square is 200 here and 200 here. Let me show you using my pointer. Here it's 200, then here it's 200. So if we are able to find the area of this triangle, the rectangle, okay, square, the area of this square, we multiply by the length of the wall. It's the same as we add from here, draw a straight line this way up to here. Here, if we find the area of this full rectangle from here this way, it's the same as this one from here. We go like this, hypotenuse this way. I hope it is clear. I think I'll do another video to show you how that one is calculated. Alright, so we shall take the length of this wall. The length of this wall is 5.2, because it's equal to this wall. Then we shall multiply by the width of this rectangle. 200 plus 350, that is 550. So it's 5.50. Then we shall multiply by the height of this rectangle, which is 0.23. That is the thickness part. So that one has been replaced by concrete. So we shall deduct it from the hardcore. Thicknessing is a bit tricky, but I hope it is well understood that what replaces the hardcore is the concrete. So if we find that volume of concrete that has replaced the hardcore, we should deduct it from the hardcore. So we shall take this volume, then we deduct these two volumes. This one is for the void and this one is for the thickness part. Alright, so after the hardcore we shall go to, so now we shall excavate for the maram blinding. The maram blinding is usually, if you look at the section, it goes above the wall. So it is, you'll take the external dimensions of the wall. Then it goes down on the thickness part. So you need to note this, that when it gets here, the maram was to come straight this way, and we have already measured the external dimensions, so we have already measured this straight line, but the maram blinding is coming this way. So we shall take this length, this one plus this one plus this one, then we deduct this one. Alright, so this is the length, the external length and the external width. Then 301.04 is hypotenuse for the triangle, and 301.04 hypotenuse for this triangle. That's why we are multiplying by 2. Then we add this 350 down here. Then we shall subtract this total length here, which is 200 plus 350 plus 200, which is 750. So the total length shall be 13.702.08. That's why we write here 13.70. The width shall remain 9.0. Then we shall deduct for the detail for void. So it is this 3500 and this one is 3000. I hope that is clear. Then we shall go. Now we shall take off the DPM. The DPM is just like the Maram blending because it will come this way. So the same dimensions for the length, for the width, then we deduct detail for the length and width of the void. Alright. So we shall go to vibrated reinforced concrete in 100 millimeters thick layer, oversight concrete. So the oversight concrete is, we measure the external dimensions of the length and the width. The length is 13.5, the width is 9. And the same area we shall have the BRC mesh, this one that you can see here, number 66 to BS 4449, including cutting, bedding, tying wire and distance block. They are all assumed to be counted in. Then when we measure the area of the concrete, remember concrete is measured in terms of area. There is this concrete that has been thicknessed here. So this one we shall calculate the area of this concrete. Then this depth we shall write it in the description column. Alright, so because it's measured in area. So how do we calculate the area? Here it's where we extend. You see this is a triangle and this is a triangle. If you combine the two triangles, they'll make a square. And what if you just combine from here, you just draw a straight line this way, form a rectangle. This rectangle here will represent the area of all the concrete from here. So the base of the rectangle shall be 350 plus 200. Then the height is 225. Then we shall multiply by the length of the wall. So we shall start with the length of the wall from here up to here, 5.2. Alright. Then we multiply by the thickness of this rectangle, 350 plus 200, 5500. So it's 5.5. Then you say add detail in 225 millimeters thicknessing because of this height here. Alright, then we shall deduct the concrete for the void. Here we will not have any concrete, we shall deduct it. So the length is 3.5 and the width is 3 meters. Okay, now we shall go to zone formwork, to the vertical edges of the oversight. So for the length we have this one, this one, this one. It makes the total length 13500 together with all this. For the width we have this width and this width. That's why I'm multiplying by 2. Then we have this 3000 and 3000. That's why we are multiplying by 2. Alright, so we shall complete with center line of reinstatement. This is the soil that we shall return all around the house where there was the foundation spread. And this one we usually calculate the center line of reinstatement. The center line of reinstatement, we shall take the external dimensions of even the spread, including the spread. Then we deduct number of corners times the thickness of the spread. So the external dimensions were 13500 and 9000. So we add the spread both sides, 400 400, we get 13900 and 9400. Then after we get the total, we shall add 2 times 3000 for here and here, so 6000. If you haven't seen our video on taking off center line for a rectangle with a recess at the center, see it on your screen. Click on that link and so that you can be able to watch that video. Then you add, you get that one. Then we less number of corners times the thickness of the trench. Number of corners there are 4. External there were 6 minus the internal 2, you get 4 times the thickness of the spread. The spread is this part here, 200. You deduct 800, you get 28,500. So it will be 28,500. The thickness of the width of the foundation spread is 0.2, and the depth of the was the one for the reduced level and the of the topsoil, 0.28. So deduct from load and remove from site. This one you shall reduce, deduct from cut away and add to RFR around the foundation externally. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching that video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. We are going to look at them and also to address them as needed. So if you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe, and see you in the next video.